So yesterday Sayadaw touched on one of the factors of the enlightenment, Viriya Sambhojjhanga, and its fourth cause, the Dayasa Mahadap Pachvakananda, the consideration of the nobility of the great heritage, which can help us to arouse the heroic effort. Regarding that point, Sayadaw explained 7 kinds of the noble wealth. Ariyatana. Ariyatana, Paliwa, is defined in 3 ways. The first of all, Ariya refers to the noble people, enlightened people. So this wealth belongs to those noble people. That's why it's called Ariyatana. The second definition is Ariya refers to the Buddha, the noble person, the Buddha. So these 7 kinds of wealth belong to the Buddha. So they are called Ariyatana. And the last definition is Ariya means noble, Dana means wealth, noble wealth. So this noble wealth is of 7 kinds, as mentioned yesterday. First of all, Saddha-dana, the wealth or faith. Regarding this Saddha, Sayadaw explained 4 kinds of Saddha. First of all, Pasada Saddha, that's gratifying faith. And then Okapana Saddha, the rational faith. This faith based on the knowledge and wisdom. And Adhigama Saddha is the enlightened faith. This faith is can be gained only when you become enlightened. And then the last one is Agamana Saddha. This Saddha belongs to, especially belongs to the Whoopi Buddha. Starting from the time he obtained a type of the predictions, the prophecy, and the definite prophecy. So from the time the Whoopi Buddha obtained the definite prophecy, he is said to have such a strong, unshakable faith. That type of faith is called Agamana Saddha. So this last kind of Saddha is belong to only Whoopi Buddha. So Agamana Saddha, so when you obtain the Adhigama Saddha, the Saddha which is connected with the enlightenment, so your Saddha is said unshakable, is also regarded as a noble wealth, belong to noble person. So by practicing Satipatthana meditation, first of all you have to base on the Pasara Saddha, the gratifying faith. You have to be gratified by the practice. And then when you practice actually, you start to see, you come to see the real mind and the body, physical and mental phenomena, and then their causality and their impermanence and conditionality and so on. Then your Saddha, faith in the Dhamma become well established, connected with your own experience, own knowledge. So such a faith is called Okapana Saddha, the rational faith. And when you have such a strong faith, rational faith, then you can overcome the skeptical doubt and the view or the wrong view or the ego and the self. But this one is a temporary eradication of the wrong view. Only when you are enlightened, attained as a past level of enlightenment, Saddha Mega, can you overcome these wrong views or the ego belief. So by practicing Satipatthana meditation, you can see the true phenomena and their nature and their causality and impermanence, etc. Then your faith becomes stronger and stronger. In the certain level of insight knowledge called Samasana Jnana, you may encounter very severe pain, and through the courageous efforts you can note that pain and finally you overcome, and then you feel happy and gratified by that experience. But actually, at the certain level of insight knowledge called Uddiyabhaya Jnana, your experience will become more gratifying than the last one. So at that level, your faith is a very well established. That's why that's called Adhimokha, very well established faith, very strong. Through this faith, if you can proceed your practice, you are bound to become fully enlightened. And then you have Adhigama Sada, the faith which is connected with the enlightenment. That's a noble work. You can own that noble work at the stage of the enlightenment. So anyway, you have to your enlightenment must be based on the Pasada Sada, gratifying faith, and Okapana Sada, rational faith. And then, based on those faith, you can make great effort until you obtain the Adhigama Sada, the faith connected with the enlightenment. So as mentioned yesterday, or earlier, the Pasada Sada means the gratifying faith, and the Okapana Sada means rational faith, and the Agama Sada, Adhigama Sada is connected with the enlightenment or the Magga. So the would-be Buddhas, they normally obtain the definite prophecy from other Buddhas, and from the time they got the definite prophecy, they have owned the Agamana Sada. So based on that Sada, they accumulate paramis, the spiritual perfections, spiritual wholesome deeds throughout samsara. So that's why, although they may be reborn to a families which have wrong faith, the would-be Buddha, they never have such a wrong faith. They always have right view. Because of that Agamana Sada, the particular special Sada which belong to the would-be Buddha. So when based on Agamana Sada and Okapana Sada, the rational faith, the would-be Buddha, they practice meditation until they became fully enlightened, and then they have owned the Agamana Sada. So that's why in the Pali text, they mention the Agamana Sada first, and later the rest. But here yogis, for ordinary people, we have to start with the Pasada Sada, the gratifying faith, and then later when we become mature, we can gain. When we are gratified or happy with somebody, we have such the faith in that person or in that thing. Such type of faith is called, as mentioned repeatedly, called the Pasada Sada. It's just gratifying faith. So when we find someone we think is trustworthy, the pleasing to us, then we can arouse such the gratifying faith. But most of people, they have only that level. They cannot go further. They cannot go beyond that. When we practice Vipassana meditation with the faith, with the gratifying faith, and then you can arouse the Anapana Sada, higher level of Sada faith. But actually, even the Buddhist country like Burma, even the monks, many monks, they don't have the Anapana Sada, the rational faith. They just have only the gratifying faith. So it is a shame. Based on this gratifying faith, they need to practice the higher level of the training, especially Vipassana meditation. Through the Vipassana meditation practice, we can establish the strong faith. We can arouse the insight knowledge, and when we can arouse the insight knowledge at a certain level or a certain level, the faith and the confidence become very strong and enough to be such as the Anapana Sada, the rational faith. So through the Vipassana practice, we can see the truth of the mind and the body, their nature, their causality, and then we can arouse the insight knowledge step by step until we attain enlightenment. Then our faith is very well established and called Adhigama Sada. The faith belongs to the enlightenment. So such faith is called Asala, the unshakable, and through that faith, your appreciation of the Dhamma is very well established. Your faith is well established with the knowledge and wisdom. So such faith is also called Vipassana, the wise appreciation of the Dhamma. So when you obtain the Nagaphala enlightenment, your Sada is well established, unshakable, and such Sada is called, faith is called the Ariyatana, the noble wealth, which is great heritage passed down from the Buddha. So only when you see Dhamma can you see the Buddha too. Here the seeing Dhamma doesn't mean reading, studying the Dhamma book, listening the talks. Actually, the Dhamma, seeing Dhamma here means the practicing Dhamma and then seeing the truth. So Dhamma is defined the uplifting or the protecting or safeguard your life. So Dhamma should be practiced proper way. So Yatha Nupraitam, so practice systematically. So the Dhamma you practice systematically can safeguard you and can uplift your life status, the quality of your life, and then such Dhamma protects your life from the dangers. But first of all, you need to study, you need to learn the correct method. So the knowledge of the correct method, the knowledge of the true Dhamma, will raise the spiritual level in this sense. And then your knowledge should be put into practice. If you practice the Sila, Samadhi and Panya, you can purify your mind, and through the sila practice, you can purify your physical and verbal behavior, and thus your spiritual status gets higher further. And then through the samadhi practice, concentration trainings, you can defeat mental defilements in the active form or the mental defilements, and then through the wisdom panya, you can eradicate the mental defilements. You can uproot mental defilements. So in this way, your spiritual status gets higher and higher. So you have to learn and study the correct method, and you have to put that knowledge into practice. So in this way, you are regarded as Dhamma practitioner. So if you become Dhamma practitioner, you are well civilized, physically, verbally, mentally, and you get free from the mental defilements and worry and anxiety. You are respectable and lovable to everybody. And also you can escape from the 4 kinds of dangers mentioned yesterday, starting from Antamivada Bhaya, the guilty conscience. So, and then you are honored as a Dhamma practitioner. So Dhamma always uplifts its practitioner. So if you put the knowledge into practice, so you become the Dhamma practitioner, then the Dhamma will uplift your spiritual status. So when you really experience the truth, you can appreciate the Dhamma. At the same time, you can appreciate the teachers who taught these Dhammas, that's the Buddha. So then you can arouse the strong faith in the Buddha who taught us these Dhammas. So in this way, when you see Dhamma, you can see the Buddha spontaneously. So first of all, you need to practice by yourself so that you can subdue mental defilements to absolute minimum. Then you can experience by yourself the nature of the Dhamma. So as a result, you can appreciate the Buddha's disciple. There must be the disciple who follow the Buddha's teaching and overcome mental defilements. So in this way, you believe in the Sangha, the community or the Buddha's disciple Bhikkhu. So thus you can arouse, you can cultivate the faith in the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. Then only your Saddha faith become unshakable, or Asala Saddha, unshakable Saddha. This Saddha is last long, is life after life. This Saddha will stay unshakable. So when your Saddha faith is well established, you realize the law of cause and effect, the unwholesome deeds, unwholesome bad result, good deeds has good result. You realize you have strong faith in the Lord of the karma. So when you attain the Sotapaddi Magga, the first level of enlightenment, you can uproot the Sakaya deity, the wrong view or the ego, the delusive sense of the Atta or ego. And when you realize the causality and the conditionality, then you no longer have wrong view regarding the irrational cause, such as the Creator, Brahma. You no longer believe because you realize the law of cause and effect. And then when you find that the right path, that you will no longer take any wrong path. You will have no faith in any wrong path. So in this way, you can overcome the several kinds of wrong view. And also, when you are enlightened, when you obtain the first level of enlightenment, you can overcome the very dangerous, harmful mental defilements, which can lead you to the woeful life, called apaya kamaniya, the mental defilement which leads you to the woeful life, the lower rebirth. Because through your insight knowledge and faith, you no longer commit any kinds of the evil deeds, because your mental defilement is subdued. So spontaneously you keep 5 precepts. You can fully keep 5 precepts. So this 5 precepts is called Ariya Kanta Sila, the precepts which is cherished by the noble people. So then in this state, you belong, you own another kind of wealth, Siladana, the noble wealth or the morality. And then another noble wealth is Hiri Uttapadana, the wealth of the moral shame and the moral fear. So you are afraid or you are ashamed of the committing evil deeds. So that's a moral fear and a moral shame. That's a Hiri Uttapadana, a type of noble wealth. So when we practice Vipassana meditation, definitely you keep precepts, and you are ashamed of committing or the breaking the sila precept, and you are afraid of the breaking precept. That's Hiri Uttapa, the noble wealth or the moral fear and moral shame. And also you can feel ashamed or the thought of sensual pleasure. You are afraid your mind will go to sensual pleasure. When you find your mind going, wandering to sensual pleasure, then you feel ashamed of that. That's a Hiri Uttapadana, that's a type of noble wealth. And unless you practice carefully with a full faith and energy, then there will be defilements in Dhamma. From time to time, mental defilements coming in. When you find that situation, you feel ashamed of your mind, ashamed of your mental state. That's Hiri Uttapa, the moral fear and the moral shame. And more than that, when you find yourself the missing objects to note, and then some kinds of mental defilement, then you feel ashamed. That's moral fear and moral shame. When you really practice based on these moral fears and moral shame, when you make great effort in the practice, you are bound to develop Vipassana insights step by step. Then you can overcome mental defilements, which can lead you to the lower lives or lower rebirth, woeful lives. So, by observing the mental and physical phenomena, by practicing Vipassana meditation, you can keep your own world peaceful and safe. And at the same time, you can help other people's worlds safe and peaceful. So in this way, you can protect your own world from the danger, and you can protect environment from the danger. That's why this moral fear and moral shame, these moral fear and moral shame are called Lokapala Dhamma. This the universal protection, the Dhamma which protects the universe from danger. So when you attain the first level of enlightenment, Sotapaddi Magga, you are definitely ashamed of committing evil deeds. You no longer commit the evil deeds which can lead you to the lower life. Then only you can establish this moral fear and moral shame. Then only you are set to own the noble world, another kind of the noble world. Hiri Uttapadana, moral fear and moral shame. So among the selfish people nowadays who has no knowledge of the karma and who have no moral fear and moral shame, and who committing the several kinds of the evil deeds, killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, adultery, and cheating, and so on, and committing the indulging in the drug abuse, and so people among those people, you should practice Vipassana meditation until you attain Magga Phala enlightenment based on the moral fear and moral shame, the noble world, so that you can overcome the several kinds of dangers. Nowadays, this world is infected with the dangers. First of all, Roga Bhaya, the danger of the diseases, something like AIDS, and very harmful diseases. And another Bhaya is the Amanosa Bhaya, the inhumanity, the uncruel, very cruel behaviors. People nowadays committing very cruel behaviors. The cruel people pervade in the universe. So those people are called Amanosa. They are not human beings. They are not Amanosa. So that's also a type of the danger in this world. And then another danger is Dobeka Bhaya, the shortage of the food. And that's also a worldwide problem nowadays. So by practicing Satipatthana meditation, based on the Saddha, faith, and Sila, morality, you can attain the noble work, Saddha, Sila, and Hiri Uttapa, and then you can keep your own world peaceful, and you can protect other people's world peaceful. So there are some more things to explain, but our time is up, so we continue this point tomorrow. Sadhu, 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 sadhu.